Thanks for joining us today in our Fall in Love with the Cricut program. Have you ever thought of buying a Cricut before? Well, this program is a great introduction to what the Cricut might look like to bring a project together. So we've printed our project, and if you've signed up for the program, you should have your make and take kit already. Today, I'm going to show you how to bring that kit together and make it into your fall craft. If you're interested in learning how to use a design space, I'm going to put a video below to a previous video where I showed you how to find it, download it, and begin to make crafts for yourself. People buy Cricut machines to support small businesses, and some people just buy them to create their own home decor and crafts. So whatever your reason is, I hope you enjoyed today's program. So let's get started on what's in the kit and how to pull that all together. Okay, so here's what you're going to find in your kit today. We have the sign that we're going to be making, so you can either hang that up. It's something you might be able to use also on a table as a placemat for a hot plate, so you can use that however you like. You're going to have your sign. This is just what the image is going to look like on top of the sign when you're all done. Just kind of helps you give a perspective for what's going to be left behind when we do our weeding part of the project. And you're going to have 3 pieces of vinyl. So you're going to have the pick your own pumpkin patch in the large piece, then your actual pumpkins in the orange, of course, and then the bottom piece is just the Hayride's apple cider corn. And then you're going to have a piece of what we call transfer tape. And so we're going to use this to transfer the image and put it onto our sign. So that's just a little overview of everything that comes in your kit. Okay, so we're going to start weeding our first piece of vinyl. And so just so you remember everything that's here, the pick your own pumpkin patch, that is what you need to remain behind. Everything else that is around this writing is what you're going to be removing from this vinyl. So let's get started. Now we're going to weed the pumpkins. Okay, next we're going to be weeding the last line, and it's a bit finicky, it's a bit small print, so just take your time and go slowly. So this is what you should be left with, all your wording and your images. And so now I'm going to show you how to use your transfer tape and place it onto your plaque. So here we go. Okay, so we're going to work with the first part of our image. We're going to do it in stages. So you're just going to take your transfer tape and you're going to have to peel off the backing. Okay, so place the plastic over top of your image. Make sure you're completely covering everything. And this is where you're going to need your credit card or your library card. And you're just going to smooth that down so it's all nicely stuck. And now we want to pull the backing off. We have to make sure that the vinyl is stuck behind, and sometimes that takes a little bit of work. Okay, so we have the wording. It was a little tough to weed. I put a new blade on the Cricut, so a lot of the white background on the paper came off. That doesn't happen all the time. It can be a little tricky to work with sometimes. So it does require some patience. So I hope you had success with that. And now I'm going to show you how to put that onto your plaque. So it should be lined up already. And you should be able to just put that on there. Just try and center it as best you can. And once you've got that where you want it, you're going to bring your burnishing tool back out again, and you're just going to flatten that down. Okay, once that's down, you're going to be peeling this off, and we're hoping it is going to stick. Okay, that went pretty smooth. So now we're going to move ahead and we're going to do the pumpkins. Okay, we've got our pumpkins done, and now we are going to line that up and put that again just on the, just try and match it up as best you can in the center. Okay, we have one last line to do. Again, we're going to do the same thing for this. Okay, so we're going to be putting our last piece on here. Okay. So we are all done. I hope that went smoothly for you. Sometimes the cutting can be difficult. It depends on what kind of vinyl. So sometimes the thicker vinyl is easier to work with, and sometimes the thinner one might be a little harder. And a new blade sometimes cuts off the background of your paper at the same time, making the weeding a little bit more difficult. But I hope your craft worked out well, and I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you get to use this. Make a nice hot plate for the fall, or of course you can hang that up and put it as part of your fall design. Thanks for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed making the craft as much as I did, and I hope that we've piqued your interest into the Cricut so that you can join us for more Cricut programs later. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media channels, and we look forward to seeing you next time on our next Cricut program.